when we first entered the world of spirits, which happens shortly after the reawakening just described. Our spirit has a similar face and tone of voice as it did in the world. This is because at that point we are in the state of our external concerns, and our deeper concerns have not yet been uncovered. This is our initial state after decease. Later, though, our face changes, becomes quite different. It becomes to look like the ruling affection in which the deeper reaches of our minds were engaged in the world. The kind of affection characteristic of the spirit within our body. Because the face of our spirit is very different from the face of our body. We get our physical face from our parents and our spiritual face from our affection, which it images. Our spirit takes on the face after our physical life is over, when the outer coverings have been removed. This is our third state. I've seen some newcomers from the world and have recognized them by their face and their voices. But when I saw them later, I did not recognize them. People who were engaged in good affections had lovely faces, while people who were engaged in evil affections had ugly ones. Since in its own sight our spirit is nothing but our affections, whose outward form is our face. The reason our faces change is that in the other life, no one is allowed to pretend to affections they do not really have, so we cannot pull on a face that is contrary to the love that we are engaged in. We are all refined down to the state in which we say what we think and manifest in expression and act what we intend. This is why our faces all become forms and images of our affections, and this is why all the people who have known each other in the world still recognize each other in the world of spirits, but not in heaven or hell, as already noted. The faces of hypocrites change more slowly than those of the other people because by constant practice they have formed the habit of arranging their inner minds into a counterfeit of good affections. So, for a long time, they look fairly attractive. However, since this false front is gradually stripped off, and the deeper elements of their mind are arranged in the form of their affections, eventually they are uglier than other people. Hypocrites are people who talk like angels, but who inwardly respect only nature, not the divine being, and who therefore deny the realities of the church and of heaven. It does need to be known that our human form is lovelier after death, to the extent that we have more deeply loved divine truths and have lived them, since our deeper levels are opened and formed according to both our love of these truths and our life. So the deeper affection and the more it accords with heaven, the lovelier the face. This is why the angels who are in the inmost heaven are the loveliest, because they are forms of heavenly love. On the other hand, people who have loved divine truths more outwardly and have therefore lived by them more outwardly are less lovely, since only the more outward aspects radiate from their faces, and the deeper heavenly love, which means the form of heaven as it is in its own right, does not shine through these more outward forms. You can see something relatively dim in their faces, not enlivened by the light of their inner life shining through. In short, all perfection increases as you move inward and lessens as you move outward. As the perfection increases or lessens, so does the beauty. I've seen the faces of angels of the third heaven so beautiful that no painters, with all their skill, could render a fraction of their light with their pigments, or rival 1,000th part of the light and life that show in their faces. The faces of angels of the outmost heaven, though, can be mirrored to some extent. Finally, I should like to offer a secret no one has ever known before, namely that every good and true that comes from the Lord and makes heaven is in the human form. This is true not only of the greatest whole, but also of every least part. This form influences everyone who accepts what is good and true from the Lord, and causes everyone in heaven to be in a human form according to that acceptance. This is why heaven is consistent with itself in general and in particular, why the human form is the form of the whole, of each community, and of each angel, as explained in the 4 chapters from Swedenborg's 59 to 80. I need to add here that this is also the form of the details of thought that come from heavenly love in angels. This secret may not fit well into the understanding of anyone on earth, but it is clear to the understanding of angels because they are in heaven's light.